Nanofish love microworms. They're the perfect size to fit in tiny mouths. They help to keep these little guys well nourished and can be really beneficial in getting them to breed. The other species of fish commonly kept in aquariums that benefit a lot from microworms are Corridor's catfish. They sink to the bottom and Corys love snuffling them out. But perhaps the best use of microworms is for feeding fry. They're incredibly easy to culture and just the right size for tiny mouths. To culture microworms, I like to use quick oats. I used to boil these in water and then add it to my culture containers, but I found this to be completely unnecessary. Now, I just add 1/4 to 1/2 inch of the quick rolled oats to about a 1 liter container and add water. You want to make sure that you add enough water though to this culture, because you're not boiling and adding the water, you're adding it in when they're dry. It takes a few minutes for it to soak in. I'll often walk away from the culture for 4 or 5 minutes and allow it to soak, and then add a little bit more water if necessary. In order to make sure that there's no oats in the area where I harvest the microworms, I take a spoon along the edge and just make sure that all the oats are down into the culture. Otherwise, I'll be picking up oats when I'm grabbing my microworms from the edge of the container. I always add a little bit more water to make sure that it's good and moist. I can't stress that enough. You want to have the water so you can see it on the surface and keep that culture moist. If it gets too dry, it'll affect your harvest. To this, I add instant dry yeast, and I just cover the surface with it. There's no need to go crazy with the amount of yeast that you're putting in. And as long as you've got good coverage, you should have a good harvest of worms. I use an old culture that I've been having up and going for about 3 weeks, is as long as I keep them. They start to stink, and I just take microworms from the surface and add them to the culture. I use quite a few microworms to start the culture out because you want to get it going pretty quick. Within 2 or 3 days, it's usually going pretty strong. So these I keep active for about 3 weeks. The other really critical point with these culture containers is to drill holes in the top so there's aeration, and make sure that the foam that you use to cover the holes is very fine, because you don't want fruit flies getting into it. They will cause a big problem. So keep it good and sealed and just at room temperature. Dump out your old cultures and clean their containers with a scouring pad so that they're ready for their next use. To collect the microworms, I just use my finger, but you could use a popsicle stick or a rubber band in the center of the culture that you just pull out and dump into the tank. I just like to plunk my finger into the aquarium with microworms on it and let the fish have at it. Your fish will love you for culturing microworms. They'll breed and the fry will grow quick. Happy fish keeping!